right, I'd love to introduce our very next speaker. His name is Andrea De Mauro, and he is the head of business intelligence at Vodafone. Today, he's going to talk to us about the top frustrations of a data analyst and how to cure them. Andrea has more than 15 years of international experience managing data analytics and data science organizations. He is currently the head of business intelligence at Vodafone in Italy. Previously, he served as a director of business analytics at Procter & Gamble, looking after the continuous elevation of data analytics in the business and the development of digital fluency across the global organization. He's a professor of marketing analytics and applied machine learning at the International University of Geneva, Switzerland, and at the University of Bari in Florence, Italy. He is the author of popular science books on data analytics and research papers in international journals. His latest book is Data Analytics Made Easy: Analyze and Present Data to Make Informed Decisions Without Writing Any Code. Andrea, welcome to the stage. And right before I bring Andrea on the stage, I just want to let you know we have another giveaway. It's a different hashtag this time, hashtag Pack to Play. This is actually Andrea's book, Data Analytics Made Easy. Go ahead and type hashtag Packed into either LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or Twitch. Sorry, I forgot that one for a second. All right, good luck, everybody. We'll have 3 giveaways at the end of Andrea's talk, so go ahead and get those in. Andrea, welcome to the DATAcated conference.
Thank you, Kate. Thanks a lot for inviting me. It's very excited
Absolutely.
to be here today.
I'm gonna give you the stage. I'm gonna hop off here and let me know when you want your screen shared.
Amazing. Thank you, Kate. Once again, I was very excited about today because what I love about DATAcated is that it's a conference where you have a real practitioner. There is a lot of passion, going on, and I will always recharge my energy very much with DATAcated. So I was very excited, and when I thought about the topic for today, since I knew I was going to talk about real world data practitioners. I thought about a topic that would unite us all and hopefully encourage us. And this one is frustrations, typical frustrations for a data analyst. And because we need to recognize in our job we are prone to some recurrent sources of frustrations, which might be actually inherent with what we do. And I wanted to share some ways I normally use to cope with them, and we're going to go 3 frequent sources of frustration. I actually ask each and every one of you to write in the chat if you felt like that in the past, right? I'm curious to see how many of you felt the same way. So let's get started with the first source of frustration, which is what I call Excel first expectation. So picture this: you are having a conversation with a business partner, you understand the business need, you start to proudly go through a list of alternative solutions you can pull together, advanced machine learning models, cool stuff, right? Prescription engines that will optimize business process once and for all. And while you're speaking, the business partner stops you and say, actually, you know what? A report in Excel would do. So just extract the data I need, put it in an Excel spreadsheet, and send it over. We don't need any fancy, sophisticated tool at this point. An Excel report will do. So how frustrating can this be, right? So you're a master of data analytics. You know the value you can bring, you know the potential of analytics. But you get stopped and asked to put together a simple, static report in Excel. So I found myself in this situation many times, and it stopped frustrating me when I realized that actually expectations towards analytics naturally follow a progressive path, and that's absolutely natural. Now, we all know this framework. We don't need to go through it. It's obvious. Moving to the right unlocks potential. We know that will unlock business value, but also requires support and management acceptance towards data analytics. And I think, this makes sense, right? For a manager, it's much easier to accept a static report in Excel or a dashboard that they can read, digest, interpret, control. It's much easier that than a prescriptive algorithm that tells them what to do, right? It's natural. So my suggestion is to guide the organization as quickly as possible through this path, take them through the progression, show what's ahead, but focus on the career needs. If they ask for a simple Excel report first, start with it, and soon after, as soon as that's out, show the next steps and what the journey looks like. So we need to accept graduality. Sometimes we are impatient. That's absolutely not. We need to accept graduality, take ownership of the path, not just of the next step ahead. And data analytics is not a revolution. So many people say this, but I think it's a rapid evolution, right? And we are the agent of change that needs to drive the rest of the organization through it, step by step, though, little by little, evolution, not a revolution. Now, the second source of frustration is the lack of resources for enabling analytics at the speed we would like. So I don't know about you, but in my career, I almost never felt that I had enough resources to go for the big ambitions at the speed I wanted to have. Right? We normally have less resources we would like, and if you think about that, that's actually normal. It's healthy, right? You don't want to waste resources. You don't want to be in the position where you don't know what to do with the resources you currently have, right? You want to keep um, unlocking more resources. So as frustrating as can be, scarcity of resources is normal. And in my personal experience, what I found works best in this case is to do something that can be painful. It's not easy, but is necessary. Make choices, right? So pick one or two things you can do with the resources you have. Go for them. This is a little, framework you can use. It's quite self-explanatory. They might be smaller, simpler stuff, right? Simple analytics, low-hanging fruit. But the only way to unlock resources is to prove the business value. So you need evidences of value. If you pick one or two big bets, you can reasonably provide that evidence, create the engagement, excite people around you. That's very important. Excite management and people about that, and create the appetite for more. So you start with an appetizer, but then you go to the main courses, primo, secondo, right? The main courses, um, as you would expect. So however small and simple, you will maybe go for a light version, something simple, maybe the simple interactive dashboard. But that's the spark you sometimes need to unlock the resources. So don't be frustrated about the lack of resources. That's normal. Make it an opportunity to find a path, a gradual path of maximum incremental value to with the resources you have, and go for it and build from it. It's going to be much smoother later if you start well. Now the third and last source of frustration is when you recommend something is not accepted. So one thing I've learned in this was it's much easier to be right than to be heard. In analytics, it's easier to be right than to actually being heard. It's easy to be right when you have data evidence, strong algorithms, you know your stuff, you know what you're doing. Um, but it's much more difficult to actually cause an effect, right? And I know that we as data analysts, we are not normally in charge for making business decisions sometimes, but we absolutely need to feel accountability through the full process. This is a framework that I use in the book to explain the data to value paths, and the path on the top is what we are after here. You need to inspire others, and you need to ultimately get to the action, which is the only thing which actually counts. If you think about that, right? You build a great model, or maybe you find a super helpful insight, but if you don't get to the last part of the path, actually, that is worth pretty close to nothing. And sometimes I find this especially hard for junior data scientists, business analysts, recent graduates to do this, and they really struggle with these concepts, especially to the younger um, of you. It's like, don't believe the job is done once that you find the evidence, because that's the beginning of the journey. It's not the end. That's in real business environment, we all know the objective is not to be right, but to make a difference and to the business. You need to go through that route. So data visualization, storytelling, these are all tools and techniques that we can help to be successful in this upper part of the journey. Data visualization helps you create charts, so communicate one point or multiple points. Data storytelling, you pull them together with a compelling narrative that can be easily followed by others in an engaging way. And they are the new basic skills of data analytics. The last the book Kate mentioned is Data Analytics Made Easy, but 1/3 or more of the book is actually totally dedicated only to visualize data and to tell stories with it. Before I close, and I mean, and of course, you can use multiple tools and techniques. I've also put this little snapshot of screenshot of a model that can help you to build stories. And if you have more time, we will actually very happy to go through that as well. Now, before I close, just one last consideration. It's an analogy that I normally use with the great people I have the opportunity to work with in my teams, to encourage them about this frustration. So picture this. Look at this situation. Winter Olympics just finished. Think about the slalom tracks, right? So the skier knows that there will be poles to avoid in the course. They are there because your objective as a skier there is actually to avoid them, right? They're part of their performance. They're not external factors. And so I encourage everyone to see these possible sources of frustration as the poles that you will find your way as you go. You need to expect them. This is part of the game. We are meant to solve them, not just to get sophisticated models or to get the right insight. Our job is to manage these, let's say, the poles we'll find in our track as we go through, because that's part of the game. And actually, I like to think it makes it even more interesting. So that's the three frustration I had for today, and very happy to stay in touch. The pictures you have seen, the charts were coming from the book there. Very happy to take your questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this, Andrea. We do have so many questions that came in, and I know we're giving away 3 books. So we'll sort of do a little alternate question, giveaway. So quick reminder for those who want to participate in the raffle, all you have to do is type in #packed, and then you will be entered into the raffle to win. I'll actually start by just drawing, because I know we're going to have three books to give away here today. So our first winner, and let's see, Sophia, aka congratulations. We'll follow up with you after the show. I'm going to remove this. You can continue to type in #packed so you can enter the raffle. But let's go ahead and take some questions. But first, Andrea, so many people resonated with some of those frustrations that you shared. I think especially that the fact with Excel being the focus of most organizations. I've definitely been there, where I spend hours building this fancy dashboard or data visualization, and then your leaders, your users end up saying, "Wow, this is great. Can we quickly export this to Excel?" And you're like, "Really? What? Why did I just do all this work?" It's sort of comical, but it definitely happens. Like Jose here shares that his employer is still Excel centric. It's very frustrating. So he's just saying thank you for putting some light on these frustrations. Nish as well says his company uses Excel for all of their dashboarding, which there is a time and place, I think, for Excel. Not to say that Excel is not useful. I just think that there are some tools that might be a bit better, right?
If I can build on this, I think it's important that we recognize that there is nothing wrong with Excel itself.
Yeah.
Excel is not the problem. There are other reasons why people actually want Excel. Some of them are practical. They need for portability. It needs a simplicity. Having a file that you can forward via email, in its simplicity, makes a lot of a difference sometimes. And so for these practical needs, of course, you can, if the data governance policies you have allow, and that, if that makes sense, you're doing the right thing, you could still have some quick snapshot views that people can forward via email, if that's okay, and if that's fine. The problem is not Excel itself, is the needs that sometimes even the most sophisticated, the interactive dashboard in BI doesn't allow. So we need to talk with our business partners, understand what's behind. Is that only portability? Is anything else? Is there, or maybe there is a need for sort of like having an archive of
Yeah.
previous views of the same, and our dashboard doesn't allow that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
We need to have a conversation about them.
Yes, I completely agree. All right, as promised, we're going to go ahead over to the second entry here. So good luck to everybody. This is again hashtag pack to play, and you could win Andrea's book, Data Analytics Made Easy. Congratulations, David Bertok. Congratulations. We'll make sure that you get your hands on this book. And the next question I have for you here is from Kimberly. She says, Andrea, what strategies can you suggest to help people track their impact for those times when they are not heard?
So, well, that one is tough. Of course, you need to have open conversations with your line of management, not because the attempt, not just to praise the progress and the attempts, but actually to find a learning element in each of them. Why haven't we been heard, although the insight we found was so crucial for the business? What is the learning there? And make sure you document them and you make something about it. And of course it's not easy, right? It's much easier to share as a result, as a in performance conversations, an actual full story where you had an insight, you went for it, and it became action. But if it didn't happen, make sure you have an open conversation and a documentation of what actually, or the reasons why that was not accepted, so that you can work on it. Every learning is in any case you win, right? Either you actually win or you learn.
Yes. We don't say lose, we say we win or you learn. I understand. Yeah, only if you learn, though. If you don't learn, then you kind of lose. So if you miss that opportunity to get some lessons. All right, let's do the last giveaway and then we'll do another question. So good luck, everybody. This is the final packed giveaway. Little drum roll here. Congratulations to Ravit Jain. Awesome. Congratulations, Ravit from AdScale. All right, I'm going to remove this from the screen and then ask you that other question from George here. So he says, when you were talking, he said, I think we also need to layer this path with data management and data governance. So wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Absolutely. Yes. It's all the data analytics ecosystem, as the word suggests, is indeed an ecosystem. You cannot touch one point without impacting the others. And of course, there is a cultural, organizational sufficiency that you need to have, so that data management, data governance are in sync with the data analytics practitioners. They are not one blocking the others. And to do that, you of course need to have the organizational structure, but also the cultural openness to have open conversation all the time. Everything that is a barrier needs to be scrutinized and studied, right, and learned from. And so, yes, data management, data governance, the rest of the IT of organization, the legal team, the data science, data analytics professionals, it's all the same ecosystem. We need to recognize we're all depending on each other, very much so.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And Andrea, I want to thank you very much for taking part in the DATAcated conference. Thank you to Pact for sponsoring the giveaway of Andrea's book here. Congratulations to the winners, and thank you for the audience for staying with us here. We're about about halfway through the speaking session so far. So Andrea, thank you again. I will see you online.
Thank you, Kate. Thanks, everyone.